Ronald Butler, Coach Rod Reed, Ronnie Vincent. Coach, just what are your general thoughts on the game?
Man, I thought that, we came out with a good game plan. One side executed the game plan almost to perfection, offensively. We stunk it up today. I mean, let's just call it a spade. But, we did enough offensively to keep us in the ball game. We moved the chains enough to keep the clock running. The defense stood tall a bunch today, and kudos goes to Coach Roberts and that staff. We just got to go back to the drawing board and get it figured out on offense, and if we can continue to play at a high level on defense, I feel really good about where we are. We've got a homecoming game coming up this week against Florida A&M. They're going to be a tough opponent for us, so we've got to go back to work here on Tuesday and get it figured out.
Coach, it seemed like when you sprint out Butler in the second half, he seemed to throw the ball a little bit better, feel a little better in the pocket. So that'd be a little bit more your game plan against Florida A&M.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but we knew that they were bringing pressure off the edge, from the backside and doing some things. And we thought if we could get him on the move, we'd give him a run pass option, because he really did a good job today pulling it down, throwing it away. He probably should have thrown it away a couple more times when he took some sacks. But young kids, he'll learn from this, and he'll grow from this. And I got full confidence in him next week with Mike and ready to go.
Did you ever feel that the offense was on the verge of getting anything going?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we break a run here, we break a run there. We complete a pass, and then all of a sudden we get a dadgum run through for a 5-yard loss. So, we had our opportunities. I think when we go back and watch the film, we'll get this cleaned up, and you'll see a better football team next week.
That's 7 consecutive games you've had a turnover. Turnover obviously led to the victory today. How much is that a part of the game plan?
Well, I mean, it's something we work on in practice every day. If we don't get 3 turnovers in practice, there's a little reminder after practice. So, we like to hunt the football up defensively. Our guys are really hungry for the football. And that football draws a lot of attention. That's what I tell my quarterbacks and running backs, too. If you got that football in your hand, everybody in the stands and on the field are looking at you. So, we just got to continue to get better. And, so whatever.
Coach, a fierce points in the game since you were a player. When you guys played MTSU, what can you do to correct that?
I mean, that's what you get when you get 2 teams that are right up the road from each other. You got guys that are there that we recruited, guys that are here that they recruited, and, it's a rivalry game. It was a York Trophy game. For the York Trophy, that's what you're going to get anytime we play Tech. We jumped out on them, I think, last year, but, if you remember the year before that here, it was the last play of the game and we won the football game. So we got a lot of respect for that coaching staff and that football team over there. But I'm just glad we came out with the W today.
The overall play of Butler, 15 for 24, 1 INT, 113 yards. What?
I'm going to let him answer that question because I don't think he really feels good about the way he played today. And that's the kind of kid he is. But, he's our quarterback. And he's going to get better. And, we've seen him play well. This is just a bad day for him today. And it wasn't all Ronald Butler. It was bad routes. It was protection. So we've got to go back to the drawing board all the way around and find a way to be effective on offense.
Just talk about your defensive play. 4 sacks in the second half, an INT. Just talk about the defensive.
I mean, when you got players like Pop Saunders, you got players like Burnell Brooks, you got players like Anthony Bass, Nick Thrasher, you expect those things to happen. We expect our defense to play well week in and week out. I mean, it's not an option. So those guys take great pride in playing defense, and they were confident all game long.
Ronnie, did you think that your interception would be the difference at that point in the game?
Well, we always preach, turn the ball over. So I was just doing my job in 1/11th of the defense, and ended up being a great contribution.
Talk about the play.
Well, our coaches do a great job during the week, coaching us up on what we're going to see. So I was just reading my keys, quarterback, looked at his receiver, so I made the play.
Do you practice after you make that interception? Because you scored, so
That's natural.
I just give all glory to God because He blessed me with these abilities, so it's just kind of natural instinct.
You guys gave them fits, their quarterback fits all day long. At one point, you guys had out of a 13-play stretch, you sacked him 4 times and had 1 interception. Talk about keeping them in chaos on their offense.
Well, we just played the scheme that our coaches put together. We've been practicing hard all week, and we saw exactly what we thought we were going to see.
And Coach, talk about the performance of Leon Holder here today. Where he's changing field position all day long for you guys, it's giving the defense that long field for him to drive on.
Well, that's what we kept talking about. If we could keep the field position flipped and keep it back on the heels, that we could do a pretty good job. You know, I think the one time, you know, they scored on an interception and they got close, but they only really had, I think, one big run and one big pass play the whole game. And we kept the field position flipped, a lot of it due to the way Lenny kept the ball away from Van Leer. Our game plan was not to let him touch the football. I mean, that kid is explosive. You know, we knew it. You know, you fear no man, but you respect all. He has innate abilities to be able to run back kicks, and we wanted to keep the ball away from him. The one time he did get his hands on it, he did a great job with it, but there was a penalty on the play. So we knew what we needed to do against him and play a little keep away. Lenny did a great job of doing that. So did our kickoff guy, Lane Clark.
Ronald, that's 6 quarters without an offensive touchdown. What's happening, what's not happening on the offense?
Well, you know, as a whole, I just feel like we got to get better at the little things and just take care of the little things. But, you know, this week, I'm going to push these guys hard to make sure we work hard and get those little things right.
Coach, status of German, got a shot at playing next week, or is it both of these guys? Or?
Right now, my quarterback is sitting right next to him. You know, we'll worry about Mike German when that time comes. He's going to be, he'll be evaluated and probably day to day all next week. What it is it's just a turf toe. But you know, those things can be real nagging. So if Mike can't go, Ronald, you know, he did it all last year. So we'll go with what we got, and we feel pretty good with what we got.
And Ronald, just wanted to see, you know, how do you think your overall play was throughout the game?
Well, you know, I expect a lot out of myself, but also my teammates. So I feel like it was an ugly win, but I'll take it. It's a W. Now we just got to go back to the drawing board and get better as a whole unit so we can get the ball in the end zone.
Looking forward to FAMU next weekend. Just talk about taking on that game. That's always a big game as well.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, it is a big game, good competition. But like I said, we just got to work on the little things to be better, especially going into more OVC play, and just try to be OVC champs and just get better every day.
Any more questions? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.